Hey, everybody. It is Wednesday, October 21st, 2020. It is awesome to see you. If you are watching this video, one of two things is going on. Either you had something come up today where you couldn't make it to class, or maybe there was something I talked about today that you wanted to see again because you were a little confused about it. What I'm going to do today is I'm just going to kind of leave it in this mode, and I'm going to talk to you guys about some stuff because I have some things I want to show you guys as we go, and some examples I want to give where I think it'll make more sense if you guys can see me. So sorry, it's not going to quite be as pretty as usual, but I'm going to stay up in the corner here the whole time so I can talk to you guys. So a couple of important things. Just grabbing a note card off of stuff so I can write some stuff down as we go. So I'm going to grab two. Oh, that's my ear. Anyway. A couple of important things. We're sitting at about a week left in the quarter, guys, quarter semester thing. So I've only got you guys for a few more classes, and I want to make sure that you guys do as well as you can. So please make sure that you're getting things into me, that you're asking questions when you need to. And that, just generally you're taking care of things you need to take care of, not just in this class, but in other classes too. Okay. Obviously, if you have any questions, you guys know that I'm here. I'm more than happy to help with anything you need, not just history stuff. I can pull off some math. I can do some science. I'm capable of the things, is I guess what I would say. So I'm going to go through these slides. First of all, that clip, the woman getting dragged through the door, that's the original Nightmare on Elm Street. If you've never seen that, that goes on my highly recommend list. That's one of my favorites. It's the end of the movie there. I think it's a little weird. I can't tell. Like, it's such an odd thing. Is it like a dummy that hits its legs on the door? It looks weird. I don't know. So anyway, today, like I said, is October 21st. A couple of reminders before we get going into the new stuff. The tic-tac-toe projects we're due on Friday, and I'd really appreciate it if you haven't gotten me those yet, if you can give me those soon. I'm working on getting everything done for you guys. I have everything up to the minute graded right now, but I still have some of you guys that owe me some things. I do want you to make sure that you go in and look at those tic-tac-toe project grades because so many things come in, I'm afraid I missed something. And so what I need you to do is go into Gradebook and take a look. And what you'll see is like, it'll say like tic-tac-toe number 1 is an assignment, and you'll have like a 3.5, a 3, and a 3.5. And then in the comments, it'll say like 3-paragraph essay. So I want you to check and make sure that everything that you did got handed in and got a grade. Some of you guys handed in all 3 projects. Some of you guys handed in 2. Some of you guys handed in 1. Some of you guys, well, you're still working on it. Let's put it that way. But make sure everything got graded. If it didn't, if you've got your I don't know, let's say you've got your reading guides, your Venn diagram in, but you swear you handed in your 3-paragraph essay, but you don't see a grade, just reshare it with me, please. I will grade it and put it in, no questions asked. You don't have to worry about it, no big deal. The second thing, if there's any, and I'm looking down here, well, I suppose I got to do it with this hand and go, I'm looking down. You know where you're looking. Any late work or resubmissions that you want to hand in, please do that soon too. I will take work up until October 28th. That's the end of the quarter, so I'll take stuff up until the very last day. When I say resubmissions, if there's something that you did that I gave you feedback on that you want to try to improve, please, by all means, go in, make those changes, and get a better grade on it. Also, check your grades. Go into Infinite Campus, look at how you're doing in all 4 of your classes, check and make sure everything looks right, see what you can still do to raise your grades, pass your classes, get those 4s, whatever your goals are, man. Don't give up. You guys are all, I got some people who aren't doing so hot in here, but we still got time. We still have time. The thing that's hard is I can't pull you for a flex. I can't pull you aside in class. I can't shake you and make you work. Okay. You got to do it yourself. All right. But please reach out if you need help. Now, today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about 3 different ideas during the populist era. And then we really didn't have much work time today. We kind of just sat around and talked for the last few minutes of class, kind of had a good time. Good to do every once in a while. You shouldn't have to work all the time. All right. So I'm going to jump ahead to the next slide. I'm just, like I said, I'm going to stay here today. And if that's weird, I apologize. I don't mean to be weird. So the first idea we're going to talk about today is political machines. And political machines are still something that exists in the world. You don't see them as much in the United States, but you'll see them around places in the world, which may be important to some of you guys because some of you guys' futures might take you outside of this country. And political machines were a big thing in like the late 1800s, early 1900s, into like the 1950s and 60s, even in some places in the United States. They generally occur in cities, places like Chicago and Boston and New York and Atlanta and Houston and cities, places. Milwaukee even had a political machine back then, and it wasn't even that big a place. Basically, what a political machine is it's when a group of people abuse their power so that they can run cities, and if I would have added anything to this, and they use it to make themselves big cash, if at all possible. And so basically what happens in these is the person who's mayor of the city, the head of the city, and the people who are running for mayor try to recruit the new immigrants and the poor in their city to vote for them. And the way that they do that is through bribery. I'm just going to use my kids in some of the examples. If Cade were the mayor of New York City, he would hire people like me. Let's say I was from Italy and I spoke Italian and I'd been in the United States for a few years. He would hire me to go down to the docks and to go down to Ellis Island or the docks, wherever immigrants or people come into the city, and find all the Italian immigrants that were coming into the country, welcome them to the country on behalf of Mayor Cade. And then I would do things like I would take them to an authentic Italian lunch and the mayor would pay for it. I might help them find an apartment and the mayor would pay for the first few months of rent, help them find a job, give them a turkey for Thanksgiving, some extra Christmas presents for their kids, medical care for them and their family, help them get started at the grocery store. And what I'm looking for in exchange is I am looking for them to vote for Mayor Cade. As long as Cade gets those votes, he stays mayor, I stay employed. Now, if he's running against, the Steve from down the street, Scuba Steve is running against him. Scuba Steve might have somebody who's out there trying to get people to vote for him, trying to do the same things. Now, in my case, as long as you vote for Mayor Cade and he wins, you keep getting the free medical care. You keep getting the free Thanksgiving turkey and the Easter ham and the presents and things like that. If you vote for the other guy, those special privileges might disappear. Your family doesn't get those things. Your rent might go up. Your job at the factory may get taken away. Now, yeah, being mayor is great. You have power, you get some money, but that's not how you're going to get rich. You're not going to get rich as the mayor of New York City. I don't even know how much that pays. But the second bullet point says that there's a lot of illegal activity and corruption. Well, for starters, guys, bribing someone to vote for you is illegal. So right there, we've already broken the law. By giving someone a turkey and saying, hey, Mayor Cade wants you to have this turkey, you should vote for him in the upcoming election. We've probably already broken a law. Okay, we've broken a law. But the corruption gets worse. The illegal activity gets worse in franchises and kickbacks. Now, some of you guys don't know this. Phoebe's lifetime goal, lifetime dream, this isn't real, is that she wants to own a hot dog cart. Okay, she wants to run her very own hot dog cart. Now, in New York City, to get a hot dog cart license, you got to have a license to run a hot dog cart. Did you know that? I didn't know that. Yeah, a hot dog cart license costs $10. Okay, now for $10, you get 1 year. You have to be health inspected every week. You can only work 8 hours a day. You're assigned a neighborhood, and you have to buy your hot dogs from the city. Or there's the special Mayor Cade hot dog cart license. It costs $25. This is good for a year and a half. You don't have to get any health inspections. You can work as many hours as you want to. You're given a preferential neighborhood to work in where more people are going to buy hot dogs. You're given special police attention to make sure no one's giving you a hard time. And you can buy your hot dogs from wherever you want to. So if you look at this, for $10, there's a lot of limits. For $25, you get the freedom to kind of do whatever it is you want to do. Which license would you rather have? Most of you guys are going to say you want this one. Now, $25 license, here you go. Take my $25, here's your license. Problem is, in the city of New York, a hot dog cart license only costs $10. You just paid $25. Now, if we do math, 25 minus 10 means $15 is going someplace. Where does that money go? Hopefully you're understanding that money is going in Mayor Cade's pocket. And he's using that to buy the hot dogs and stuff like that. Or buy the hams and the Christmas presents. And grabbing more carts. Okay? Now, the next thing is called a franchise is a license to do business. Sorry, I didn't define it. A kickback is an illegal payment for choosing somebody to do something. So let's say New York City has to build a bridge across the river. Okay? It's going to be a big project. So the city of New York is going to bid that out. Okay. The first construction company A, comes in and they make a $1 million bid. A is going to bid $1 million. Okay. And so Mayor Cade looks at the drawing and goes, hey, that's a great bridge. Thanks. We'll keep you posted. Company B comes in and basically has the same idea for the bridge, except their bridge is going to cost $2 million. Company B is $2 million. Okay. Now Company C comes in and they let Mayor Cade know that to build that pretty much same bridge is going to cost $10 million. But at the end of the building, and I'm going to get this close to the camera, they're going to give a $5 million donation to Cade Siepp for mayor. And so your options are $1 million, $2 million, or $10 million and a $5 million donation. Which one do you think the mayor is going to pick? I think he's probably going to pick this one. Okay. And the problem with that is simple. That's illegal. Okay. That is a bribe for choosing someone to do something. But no one found out because as long as Mayor Cade stays in power, he can do whatever he wants. Okay. And the problem with that is that's your taxpayer money. Now, the problem is this a good or a bad thing? It's a hard question to answer because if you're an immigrant, you're getting that job, you're getting that rent, you're getting that health care, you're getting that ham and that presence and all those things. But your taxes are going up and the mayor is ripping off the city. Okay, so a little bit of a give and take. It's the good old fashioned, is it really wrong if it doesn't necessarily really hurt anybody? Okay, and I think the answer is probably that it's wrong. Okay, now the second slide that we looked at in class today, actually, I'm going to get rid of something off this slide quick. I'm going to delete this. I mean, we don't need that. It's not true anymore. We're going to talk a little bit about elections. Something you're probably sick of. I know that if anybody else tells me to vote, I'm going to cry. I'm going to vote. Okay, miracle right behind me over my shoulder. Wow, that's kind of, look at me, very photogenic with my American flag over my shoulder. If anyone would like to snap a selfie of me, hang on a second. There you go. All right, very political. All right, but I think we're all getting a little bit sick of the election talk because we can't avoid it. YouTube, our commercials, social media, it's just nuts. I mean, it's important. I'm voting. You should vote when you get to be 18. You should vote every time. It's important to get your opinion out there and to get your ideas represented. But it gets kind of boring every once in a while, kind of old. So politics were pretty similar back then, except maybe more people took it seriously. The country was really politically divided then and now. And obviously, it was divided between Republicans and Democrats. Now, it hasn't always been Republicans and Democrats, but it has been for most of the history of the country. So back in the day, if you were a Republican, you knew you were going to win the Northern vote and you were going to win freedmen's vote in the South. If you were a Democrat, you were going to win the Southern vote and the immigrants' vote in the North. And so elections were going to be really close. Okay, elections could go either way. Now, if you're wondering, is that still true today, the North, the South? Not necessarily, but if you look at maps, you'll see that there are certain parts of the country that do tend to vote for certain people. Texas, Mississippi, and Alabama, they're probably going to vote for Trump. California is going to vote for Biden. A lot of the northeastern states like Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, Massachusetts, they're probably going to vote for Biden. Places like Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, they're going to vote for Trump. Okay, and because of the way that things lay out, elections are really close. They come down to a very minimal amount of places. And those places are called close states, or they call them close states back in the day. We call them swing states now. Whoa, miniature voice crack there. Swing states. And you just happen to live in one of the most important swing states in this upcoming presidential election. The reason they call them swing states is one time they can vote Republican and the next time they swing to Democrat and they can go back and forth and back and forth. And so they're important because they can help decide who wins. For instance, Wisconsin voted for Obama, but then also voted for Trump. And so we went Democrat, Republican, and obviously 2020 has yet to be seen what's happening. I think Biden's leading the polls in Wisconsin as of right now. I don't remember the percentages and things like that, but Trump's working hard to try to switch that. Swing states are important because if you can win the most swing states, you can win an election. And so politicians have some things that they do to try to make sure they win swing states. First, they make promises there. They're going to help the dairy farmer. They're going to make sure that businesses come into Wisconsin. They're going to try to get rid of crime in the city of Milwaukee, and the city of Madison, and all over the state. They visit the state. Trump and Biden have been here. Their vice presidential candidates have been here. Their wives have been here. Trump sent Ivanka, his daughter, a couple of weeks ago, and I'm sure that they'll make more visits in the very near future here before the election. Okay. The other thing that you can do is you can advertise more in an area. I think we're probably getting more presidential ads than the states that are locked in, like California or Texas. But back in the day, and they still do this sometimes now, they use something called native sons, or we could say native daughters too. If you know you need to win a state, you could pick a vice presidential candidate or someone else important in your administration. It's going to come from that swing state. Like, for instance, if, I don't know, let's say that in 8 years, candidate blah, 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 his name is blah, 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 or her name is blah, 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 really needs to win the state of Wisconsin. So they call me up and say, hey, Chris Seep, we would love you to be our vice presidential nomination. And I go, why? I don't know anything about politics. Well, I do, but I don't care. They'd go, well, Chris, you are from Wisconsin. You appeal to the Wisconsin voter. And so therefore, Wisconsin will vote for us if you run with us. That makes me a native son. People do this all the time. Trump needed to win Indiana, and so he recruited Pence to be his vice presidential candidate. It kind of works that way. Okay. All right. Now, the last slide, kind of an important one, is called the money question. And the money question slide, oh man, I tell you, sometimes I outthink myself. All right, comes down to two basic ideas: inflation and deflation. And I'm gonna write these on the card. Okay, so the United States obviously has an economy. Economy means like what a country does with its money, what people do with their money. And with money, we experience periods of inflation and periods of deflation. Now, in inflation, the supply of money being spent goes up. Now, there's a couple of reasons why this can happen. First of all, the government could issue more money and there could be more money available, or people could just be spending more. So like Christmas time, people spend more money. So you might see a period of inflation. Now, when there's more money out there, think about this. What happens to prices? If there's more money circulating, do prices go up or do they go down? Think about that for a second. I'm going to tell you that prices go up. Okay. If there was double the amount of money being spent today, the price of a candy bar would double. Okay. Last but not least, what does that do to the value of the dollar? Now, if you're confused, value of the dollar means how much can you get for your dollar? Does your dollar buy one candy bar or two candy bars? Does it buy half a candy bar? That's the value of the dollar. In inflation, the value of the dollar goes, let's do this, it goes down. I would write this in my notebook, man. This is an important concept. So in inflation, the amount of money circulating is up, and so the prices are up, and so the value of the dollar is less. So your dollar buys you less. Okay? We'll talk about why this is important in a minute, but we got to talk about deflation first. So deflation, writing this on a card as we speak, sorry. It's not that I'm ill prepared. It's that I came up with the idea to do this partway through the talk. In deflation, the amount of money circulating is down. Now, why? It's not like the government goes, hey, give us $1 billion, we're going to burn it, so there's less money out there. But if people aren't spending their money, there's less money in circulation, they would say that it's down. People might not be spending their money because unemployment could be high, or I don't know, there could be a deadly pandemic happening and people are afraid that they're going to lose their jobs. Or maybe people are just saving. I don't know. So if money is not circulating, what's going to happen to prices? Now, take in mind, it still depends, because there are things that the price wouldn't change on. But in some things, if there's less money available, figure out the camera, the price is going to go down. Okay, so the amount of money's out there is going to go down. The prices are going to go down. You're going to see this on big ticket items like cars and houses and stuff. They're not going to go, oh, a Snickers bar now only costs 73 cents instead of 75. Those prices don't generally change. It's big item things. Now, if deflation went on long enough, maybe the price of the Snickers bar would go down. What happens to the value of your dollar, though? How much does your dollar buy? I'm going to tell you right now that the value is going to go up. Okay. And so I'm going to tell you something. Your parents are going to say things to you like, oh, we had to walk uphill to school both ways, and our teachers could hit us and blah, blah, blah. But they're also going to tell you things like, boy, when I was in high school, I could go to dinner and a movie for $20 and buy popcorn and maybe even take a date, or a gallon of gas costs 85 cents, or you could go on a Quick Trip with $1 and get a candy bar and a soda. And the reason why that's not that way is because of inflation. Okay, there's more money circulating, prices are up, and the value of the dollar is down. Okay. And so when you think about it, it's not that they lived during a time of deflation. It's just that inflation is kind of natural. Now, let's look at these two things. Okay. You can see both cards right now. Now, we know when these are going on because they talk about them in the news, and you can see it in things like stock prices and things. Would you rather buy a house or a boat or a car, something big, during a period of inflation or during a period of deflation? What do you think? Inflation or deflation? We're buying a $300,000 house, $200,000 house, $50,000 truck. What are we going to do? I would rather buy during a time of deflation because the value of my dollar is higher. I'm going to get more for my dollar. Okay. Now, if I'm going to sell the house, now I'm sick of that house. I want to move to, I want to move to a foreign country with a beach and stuff. Okay. Do I want to sell the house during inflation or deflation? Okay. I would prefer to sell a big item during inflation when the prices are up and their value of their dollar is going to get them less. So this, I think, is undervalued in things that you should know, that you should pay attention to. I don't think enough people pay attention to that, and I think it sometimes costs some money. Now, the hard part is, and Aaliyah asked a great question about this morning. She said, well, how long does it last? It's unpredictable. So if I looked at you and said, boy, just wait 10 more months, we'll be in deflation and you can buy the house for cheaper. I can't predict that. No one can predict it accurately. So that's what we covered today. Sorry if this is a little long. I apologize, but I think some of the things we talked about today are interesting, and at least one or two of them are hugely important to the life we live. Okay, keep an eye on those political ads. Remember, you're in a swing state. It'll all be over soon. If you need help with homework, please ask. I am here. All right, I'm here to help. I hope you're well.